XC30. I haven't had any of these yet, but I've seen horror stories of people plugging these in the wrong way. I'm not sure we'll be able to get it in because of the facade fascia, whatever you want to call that, around there. I'm not sure, but I've colour coded them just in case, because I'm going to do it at some point if it's possible. As I understand it, once this is bound, you don't need to do it again, so it's going to just... Okay. No, you're right. I won't. You enjoy your park, mate. I'm not gonna get in your way. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It kind of looks, well, a bit bug-like.
Oh, it's got a camera.
I don't know. This is the first flight. So we'll see.
How do you fly?
Not this one, I'm afraid. Not this one. So if that's low rates, that's pretty impressive. It's quite fast even on low rates. Smooth as well. Let's try rates 2 out. So that's 2 beeps. So that really is, that's low rates what it was flying in originally. No, I'm surprised it's this quick, to be honest, because it's got relatively large blades and it's only 2S.
The ones I've seen have only just sort of, I don't know, just kind of gone. I've never seen one go fast like that.
Right, so this really is mode 1. I mean, the cyclic's not particularly fast, but the quad is. That's really respectable. Because this uses the same, if not really similar, props to the H501S, the Hubson, which is pretty sedate, really. Let me just check. Yeah, I'm not getting confused. It's just a 2S battery. Respectable. I like the white on the front and the blue on the back. No red on the front at all. Dig it. Let's try mode 2 again. So we're going to go up for this one. 2 clicks. 2 beeps, I should say. Definitely more pitch on there. The cyclic doesn't feel that much faster, just loads more pitch. Enough to get yourself into trouble if you're not putting enough throttle in. That's got a satisfying amount of power. It's flashing at me at the moment, so no doubt I've rinsed the battery dry in no time. It's probably not going to let me flip now. Okay, I'm going to take the rather loud, aggressive hint and land this thing. Hold the red button. Make it go off. I like the fact we've got an actual button to arm it and disarm it, so you can't disarm it in the sky. It's fast. It's really fast. It's surprisingly fast, and there's loads of pitch on there. It's smooth on the cyclic. I think in mode 2 I'd like the cyclic to actually be faster, because I don't think it is. It just goes a little further. Let me just turn this off. And for 2S, power to weight ratio, and that's really impressive. Anyone's coming up from like a smaller quad is going to be like, whoa, that's a real beastie. Like it really does look like a beast in the sky compared to the little quads. Now, 800 milliamp hour battery, that was rinsed dry in no time. So even though it's light, I'm not really sure you're going to get a stonking flight time if you want to fly really fast and you've actually got some FPV gear on this. So we'll charge that battery up again and try some FPV with it, but that flies great. Okay, so we're just going to have a poodle around without doing speed runs and see what kind of battery life we're going to get out of this. We're just in the first mode for the moment because I like it. It's smooth, it's gentle, and it's still enough rates to be able to fly this around trees and not worry. That tilt doesn't look too bad for that sort of speed. I think going faster is probably going to need more tilt. But the trouble is, once you want to go up high, like I'm sure I can't see anything apart from upwards there. Woo! Hold it down for this arm. Okay, we've got definitely loads of the noses in shot there. We've got it about 45 degrees, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks a bit more level for the deeper pitch. I really like how smooth it is. I mean, it's certainly possible to fly like jerky with it, you know, like, but it is smooth. It's definitely got a chunk of expo in there. But it's not much. The first, like, 30% of the stick or so, it's really soft and it livens up a bit, but there's no super fast rates on there. So let's try the second rate. Okay, I was in the second rate, so it keeps the rate from the previous flight. Don't seem to be able to flip it. Oops. Okay, so if you press disarm in the sky, it doesn't do anything. That's why they've got it to a hold. I like it. Oh. Bugs. Sorry, bugs. Okay, so the battery's still in, and the camera popped out of its little socket. Oh, no, 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 no. The two little rails that we've got on the top there actually cracked that one off. Okay, there's enough rail to keep it in there. The top side of it is chopped off. My camera's not recording, so let's rebind that and try again. Now I'm not sure whether it's just the process of putting this inside here that's squishing the button because that was off, or was it because I crashed it? I'm going with the latter. Oh, no. You get it recording? Pop it in there. And then as soon as I squeeze it shut, it's stopping recording. So that defeats the point of carrying a camera, and I've got no footage around here at all for you. Sorry about that. No damage on the... Oh, yep. Okay. Got a damaged prop as well. Just the tip off that one. This one's damaged as well, but that is my dad's cat gnawing away at it. So let's see how bad it flies with that little nick out of there. Wow. It's got a bit of lean. Wow. That's a tip clean off that little thing. Let's trim that up even. Wow! So, just trim that. So that's with the tip missing completely off. Wow! I mean, there's a super tiny amount of drift in there, but I think that's just the coarseness of the trim more than anything else. That's impressive. It's silent as well. Okay, a bit more noise on the cornering, but it's still flying. I'm stunned. Okay, now we're flashing. I didn't feel quite so rude that time on flight time. Love the way the transmitter beeps at you though. There's a flash, solid flash, a bright flash. It's really noticeable as soon as you see the lights. And a loud beep. You couldn't really want much else, so we didn't get any flips out of this, and we still haven't got any footage out of this, which was very disappointing. So we're gonna try and modify that setup there and get some FPV gear on this as well. Because there's no way something this smooth shouldn't be used for FPV. It's gagging for it. Shush, shush, shush. Bugs. 3. Where is it? There. That's a tip we're missing. Off there. It's not a huge amount, but they're so slow moving that it really didn't seem to matter in the handling. It wasn't yawing bad or anything like that. Well done, Bugs. Okay, dokie. I've changed out both my damaged props. And this camera. Bit of a nightmare really with this camera. Basically, I'd put a piece of sorbitane in the bottom of there, a piece of like anti-vibe rubber, and although it worked when I put it in there, if it moved or squished, it was just enough to press the button on the top there. So after that, I moved the bottom half of this round the other way, and took the pin out, just slides out, and then you can switch that around, because I wanted to put a USB extension in there, or a USB video transmitter in there, because I've got one that fits straight on the side. It would have been perfect for this, but you can't get it in because of this lock mechanism. But then you can't really get it in this side either. So, turning the camera upside down and putting some holes in there and cutting a little bit out of that notch enabled me to get a USB lead extension in there so I could put my USB video transmitter on. Unfortunately, the USB extension was an absolute waste of space and broke my USB part of my transmitter. It was just far too tight, and I couldn't get it out once it was in, and it was just a nightmare. So thanks, shitty eBay seller, for that one. So we're not going to try any FPV with it today. However, we have unbalanced props on it again, and a camera that's not going to turn itself off in there. So let's get some video at least. So yeah, inverted is the only way I'm going to get this thing actually on here. I don't expect this to be anywhere near jello free, judging from that last bit of footage I watched and the way that can wiggle in there. It's just pretty terrible, to be honest. But it's got some mild tilt. Double check that camera's recording. Okay, let's go to about 45. Probably soon to see a fair bit of the frame in there, but I should be able to get a nice straight shot, low down, flying fast. It's really tempting just to fly it fast. It does fly lovely and smooth. Really no complaints with how it flies. I don't think the video is going to be clean, but that's not a massive surprise. And balancing these props is going to be a bit tricky as well, because they're 4mm shafts like the H501S. There's a DJI balancer at 5mm, but I couldn't get the guy to actually make me one for a 4mm shaft. Okay, you gotta hold down the flip button. That button. Just pressing it doesn't do anything. Holding it down gives you a pretty violent flip. I'm sure that looks horrible on camera, but it's perky. It certainly doesn't need a lot of space. So does that mean that if we're flying forwards fast? Yeah. That'd be cool low to the ground. I'm not going to do it too low, but okay, so yeah, it'll flip forward and backwards quite violently while it's flying fast forward or backwards. I like it. For a button flip, that's quite satisfying, but still, I'd prefer a manual flip, like a third flight mode with rate mode on this, would make it an absolutely stellar quad. Like really, if this had a rate mode, it would be a cracking learner quad for someone who didn't need the height stabilization or GPS, but wanted to actually learn how to fly on something that was pleasant to fly. Yeah, it funnels great. I really have very few complaints about how this flies. The self-level is a little bit strong pulling back for my liking. Makes, when you go back towards center from a coordinated turn one way to the other way, it kind of like, it's a bit strong when you get to the center and it sort of pulls it a little bit. So turning from left to right can be a little tricky to get super smooth, but it's not bad. Not bad at all. I enjoy flying it. Now when I'm not just doing fast passes, the battery does seem to last a little bit longer. It's a bit more respectable flight, but one battery for this one would be a no-no for me. Okay, let's take it up. Have a look around. So pitch, I'd like pitch to move faster in the second rates, rather than just have more pitch. But yeah, these are really just tiny niggles with a cracking quad. Well done, little bugs. Well behaved little quad. So yeah, I love the quad. I don't like the camera attachment at all. It's a bit like the Simmer. It was adequate at best, but for me that needs modifications. And these two little catchers that slides underneath, most of this one on the left hand side of the quad broke off in that first crash, and it wasn't a heavy crash, so if you plan on having a little bit of rough and tumble with this one, you might want to buy another one of these battery cages. They just screw on and that's the attachment in there. So at least MJX didn't make that part of the frame. That would have been a stinker. So yeah, you'll see the bugs out again, and we'll try and fit some FPV gear to this. I'm not sure how, but I'll probably just do away with this completely and fit some gear to the nose somehow. And I look forward to flying that FPV. It's a blast. Yep. You don't want to know. My girlfriend wishes it was 6.